Hello everybody, this is Dan Riley for Passionate World Internet Radio. The deaths of both Bob Knight and Matthew Perry sting for two different reasons, but both make us uncomfortable, period. There's a tragic story in both of their lives for us to learn from. Get your Kleenex ready, because this is going to be a pretty emotional episode. Bob Knight was complex, and it seemed at least like he was an angry man. It leaves you unsure what to think of him. He had a program with the highest graduation rate, or at least one of the highest graduation rates in college basketball. Unlike a lot of other college football and basketball coaches, he cared about the classroom. If you screwed up in class, as a player, you were in trouble with him. That said, his championships are intertwined, of course, with the fact he basically abused his players on occasion, even choking one on the sidelines in front of everybody. He had a sense of right and wrong, but to call him an anger management failure might be a little too polite. It's extremely hard for a lot of the people to separate the angry personality from the championships, and it shouldn't be that way. Bob Knight was a great coach who wanted to put the college in college basketball. And he didn't run a dirty program. He didn't believe in that. That's why it makes me so sad. We have to remember him throwing chairs and grabbing his own players to scream at him. Matthew Perry? Well, he lived in a different world, acting, but there's something sad about him too. He suffered from addiction, an illness that affects millions. Let's make this clear. Addiction is an illness, not an evil. Two different things. Whatever problems he had, he found being famous didn't fix them, and made an honest mistake turning to alcohol and drugs to deal with them. That's what it was, an honest mistake. Millennials and Gen Z have found adulthood is no sitcom. And Matthew Perry's 20s, no doubt, weren't funny at all at certain spots. All we can do is learn from his tragic mistakes, as well as the mistakes of Bobby Knight. That's why there's tragedy in these guys' stories. They had positive traits, but made mistakes. Bobby Knight, the screaming and yelling at his players and grabbing at them. And Matthew Perry making an honest mistake, turning to substances to take the pain away. Maybe that's the gift. Not just their accomplishments, the successful television shows and the championships, but they unwittingly showed us that anger and sadness can have consequences. And the right way to go about them can make a world of difference in one's life. Bobby Knight was a basketball genius, and Matthew Perry was a brilliant actor in a beloved sitcom. There's a reason why it makes us so sad. Their mistakes and flaws leave their legacies just a little bit tainted, or at least incomplete. Things should have turned out better for Matthew Perry, and Bob Knight didn't have to turn to toxic anger, but their faux pas made them human and showed even the most brilliant amongst us aren't saints. Perhaps their mistakes don't have to be a complete tragedy, though, because we can learn from them. We will miss them both. This is Dan Riley for Passionate World Internet Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long.